Ladies and gentlemen, let's be real. Nothing cuts like being hurt by someone you trusted. I'm talking about that kind of pain that hits you in the chest, leaves you speechless, and makes you question everything. Maybe it was someone you loved. Maybe it was a friend, a coworker, even family. They lied, they betrayed you, they left you out to dry. And right after it happens, that fire inside you starts burning. You think, I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna make them regret messing with me. Now hold up. Before you start planning revenge like it's a movie script, let me ask you this. What if I told you the bestie revenge is no revenge at all? What if I told you the real clapback is success, healing, and peace so loud it drowns out their hate? See, revenge isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. It's not about giving them a taste of their own medicine. It's about not needing to. Because when you rise up, when you heal, when you start shining in ways they never saw coming, oh, trust me, that hits harder than any payback ever could. This speech ain't about getting even. It's about getting better. It's about how to take that pain, that heartbreak, that betrayal, and flip it into power. So if you've ever been broken, disrespected, or underestimated, stay right here. Because I'm about to show you how to let your life do the talking and make every single person who tried to hurt you regret ever thinking you were weak. The best revenge is not in screaming louder, getting even, or trying to tear someone down the way they did you. No, the best revenge is in leveling up. It's about getting so focused on your growth, your success, your peace, that the people who tried to hurt you no longer recognize you. They don't even know how to reach the new version of you because you've grown so far past them. You want to silence a hater, elevate. You want to shut down someone who betrayed you, succeed. There is no louder message than living well. See, when you stay stuck in pain, when you let bitterness take root, when you let their wrongdoings take up space in your heart, you're still giving them power. You're still letting them win. And they don't deserve another minute of your energy. People who want to see you broken, they're not watching for your healing. They're watching for your reaction. But when you don't give them one, when you move in silence and build in private, and then come out stronger, better, and wiser, that's the kind of comeback that can't be faked. That's real power. Let me tell you what happens when you level up. You start walking differently. You start talking differently. You begin to glow with confidence, not because you're faking it, but because you've been through some storms and you didn't let them drown you. You learned how to swim. You learned how to grow. You stopped blaming the waves and became the one who controls the sail. That's what it means to level up after hurt. It's not about proving anything to them. It's about proving something to yourself. You see, hurt people, but healed people build empires. You can either stay bitter or you can get better. And let me tell you something, it feels real good when the people who left you, doubted you, or tried to break you see that none of it worked. They see you smiling when they thought you'd be crying. They see you thriving when they expected you to fall apart. That's the kind of revenge that makes them sit back and say, how did they do it? And you know how you did it. You got focused. You stopped chasing closure. You stopped explaining yourself. You stopped waiting for them to fix what they broke. And you got up and fixed it yourself. You built a life that made you proud. You started investing in your goals, in your health, in your peace. You realized that every time you rise, you silence the noise. Every step you take forward is a step away from the pain they caused. That's the glow up they never saw coming. This is what strong people do. They don't fight dirty. They don't stoop down. They rise up. They learn. They grow. They let their wins speak for them. The version of you that's winning right now doesn't need to throw shade or clap back online. You just show up, shine, and keep it moving. Let them talk. Let them wonder. Your success is louder than any lie they ever told about you. But listen, this ain't easy. It takes strength to stay silent when you want to scream. It takes discipline to walk away when you want revenge. It takes courage to focus on you instead of them. But if you can do that, if you can channel that pain into purpose, you won't just get revenge, you'll get transformation. And that lasts longer than any temporary satisfaction of seeing them hurt back. Because when you level up, you never have to look back. So remember this, the next time someone disrespects you, doubts you, leaves you behind, don't get mad. Get focused, get working, get winning. Because nothing, and I mean nothing, makes the people who tried to break you more uncomfortable than watching you turn that pain into power, the best revenge. It's becoming everything they said you couldn't be, and doing it without ever saying a word. Silence is one of the most powerful tools you can ever use, especially when someone disrespects or tries to hurt you. It might not feel like it in the moment. When your pride is bruised, your heart is heavy, and your emotions are boiling. You want to say something. You want to defend yourself, clap back, let them know exactly how wrong they are. But real power, that comes when you can hold your tongue and let your peace speak louder than your words. People expect a reaction when they try to bring you down. That's why they throw shade, why they talk behind your back, why they lie or try to embarrass you. It's bait. They want to see you break character. They want you to explode, to lose control, because the moment you do, they win. They steal your peace. They take your power. But when you stay quiet, when you choose calm over chaos, they don't know what to do with that. It confuses them. It frustrates them. Your silence becomes louder than anything you could have said with your mouth. Silence is not weakness. Let's make that clear. Silence is control. It's maturity. It's knowing who you are and not letting someone else's actions define your response. It's having enough self-respect to walk away from drama instead of getting dragged into it. It's strength in its purest form. And when you can master it, when you can look someone in the eye, feel all the emotion rising inside you, and still choose not to react, you've already won. You see it. Silence gives you time. Time to think, time to process, time to decide if something is even worth your energy. Most of the time it's not. Not every battle is yours to fight. Not every insult needs an answer. Not every disrespectful moment deserves your attention. Sometimes the best thing you can do for your soul is to stay quiet, walk away, and focus on yourself. Let me tell you something about people who try to hurt others. They are loud for a reason. They want attention. They want to feel in control. They want to feel powerful because deep down they're hurting. So they project that pain onto others. They push buttons just to see what lights up. But when you stay silent, you don't give them what they want. You don't feed their ego. You don't become their puppet. And that eats them alive more than any comeback ever could. There's something peaceful about not responding, not having to explain yourself, not having to match someone's negativity. You walk away with your head high, your dignity intact, and your focus unshaken. You don't need to prove anything to anyone who already decided to misunderstand you. Let them wonder. Let them guess. Let them deal with the noise they created alone. The truth is, people forget what you say, but they remember how you made them feel. And when you stay calm, collected, and unbothered in the face of disrespect, you leave an impression. You show class. You show maturity. You show that you're not on the same level as the nonsense they're trying to bring into your life. And trust me, nothing haunts a petty person more than someone who refuses to get petty back. Silence is also healing. When you stop explaining, stop defending, stop arguing, you give yourself space to heal. You stop pouring into empty cups. You stop wasting your breath on people who weren't listening in the first place. And instead, you redirect that energy into building, growing, and becoming better. So the next time someone comes at you sideways, don't rush to respond. Take a breath. Think long term. Ask yourself, does this deserve my voice? Or does it deserve my silence? 9 times out of 10, silence wins. Because peace is power, and not everyone deserves access to yours. At the end of the day, silence is not about ignoring pain, it's about choosing your response wisely. It's about knowing that sometimes the best way to show strength is not to fight, but to rise above. It's the quiet confidence that says, I know who I am, and nothing you say or do will change that. Keep that mindset, hold that peace, and watch how unstoppable you become. Self-control is one of the greatest strengths a person can have, especially when facing disrespect. It's easy to act out when someone comes at you the wrong way. It's easy to lose your cool, say something you regret, or lash out just to defend your pride. But true power, that's when you feel all that fire inside you and still choose not to burn the whole room down. That's what real strength looks like. That's what self-control is. When someone disrespects you, the first instinct is to react. It's natural. You're human. You want to prove them wrong, make them feel the sting they just gave you. But think about this. What does it really get you? A moment of satisfaction, maybe. But then what? You carry their energy with you. You replay the argument in your head. You let it live in your spirit, and you give them power they don't deserve. That's not control. That's letting someone else run your emotions. Self-control is knowing when not to react. It's knowing your value and realizing not everyone deserves a piece of your peace. Not everyone deserves a response. Not everyone deserves to get inside your head. Because let's be real, when you let somebody make you angry, when you let them control how you respond, they own you for that moment. And you're better than that. You don't need to match low energy with more low energy. You elevate. You rise above. That's how you win. Now let me be clear. Self-control is not weakness. It's not about being a pushover or ignoring when someone crosses the line. It's about being strategic. It's about protecting your time, your energy, and your reputation. Anybody can snap. Anybody can go off. That doesn't take strength. But to stay calm, composed, and focused, that takes real work. That takes inner peace. And once you master that, there's not a person on this planet who can shake you. You have to understand that your energy is your most valuable resource. When you waste it reacting to every little jab, every rumor, every side comment, you're draining yourself. And the people who hurt you, most of them don't even care how you feel. They just want to see a reaction. But when you control your emotions, when you don't give them the satisfaction, they lose interest. They lose power. Because they realize they can't touch you. That's how you win without saying a word. Self-control is also about being patient. Sometimes life will take care of people better than you ever could. You don't need to play karma. You don't need to set the record straight. Just sit back, keep growing, keep glowing, and let time do its thing. The truth always comes out, and people always reveal themselves. Your job is not to fix them, fight them, or fear them. Your job is to protect your peace and stay on your path. And look, it's going to be hard. There will be times when your pride wants to step up, when you want to say what's on your mind, when you want to prove a point. But ask yourself, does this move me forward? Does this help me grow? If the answer is no, it's not worth your energy. Walk away. Breathe. Let it go. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. Sometimes the best way to respond is to not respond at all. Let your progress speak. Let your peace speak. Let your joy speak. You don't have to defend your name when your actions speak louder than anything they could say. Self-control is knowing that your future matters more than your feelings in the moment. So choose growth. Choose focus. Choose power. At the end of the day, self-control is freedom. Freedom from drama. Freedom from regret. freedom from the need to constantly prove yourself. It's knowing you're in charge of how you show up in this world. And no one, not even the person who tried to hurt you, gets to take that away from you. That's real strength. That's real power. That's how you turn pain into purpose. And never let anyone pull you back into a place you've outgrown. Not everyone deserves an explanation. Not everyone earns the right to your story, your time, or your truth. Sometimes people do you wrong and you feel like you owe them a piece of your mind. You feel like you need to break it down for them. Why what they said or did was out of line. But the truth is, when someone disrespects you, they already know what they did. They just didn't care enough not to do it. So why waste your breath explaining yourself to someone who chose to hurt you in the first place? When you make peace with the idea that not every action needs a reaction, your life starts to change. You stop trying to fix people who were never interested in being fixed. You stop trying to justify your boundaries to folks who were never going to respect them anyway. You realize that silence is not just powerful, it's peaceful. And protecting your peace means understanding that your energy is not up for grabs. Some people thrive on drama. They push your buttons just to watch you react. They know exactly what to say to throw you off your game. And if you fall into that trap, they've already won. They didn't need to be right. They just needed you to lose your cool. But when you don't take the bait, when you look them in the eye and choose not to explain, not to argue, not to lower yourself, you send a message louder than any words. I value my peace more than I value proving a point. And look, I get it. It's not easy to stay quiet. It's not easy to walk away when you've been misunderstood, lied on, or betrayed. You want to defend your name. You want to make things right? But let me ask you, who are you trying to convince? Someone who already decided to twist your words. Someone who already showed they don't respect you. You're not going to win that fight. No matter how perfect your explanation is, some people don't want to understand. They just want to stay mad. Let them. Walking away without explaining yourself doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise. It shows that you're not in the business of begging for understanding from people who never listened in the first place. You've got nothing to prove to people who aren't even trying to see your side. And the real ones? The people who truly care about you. They don't need an explanation. They already understand. They see your heart. They know your character. And they don't need a speech to believe in who you are. There's also something freeing about not having to constantly justify your choices. You don't owe anyone a paragraph about why you walked away from a toxic relationship. You don't owe anyone a breakdown of why you stopped talking to that friend who crossed the line. You don't have to explain your growth. You're healing your silence. You're allowed to outgrow people. You're allowed to protect your space. You're allowed to change without holding a press conference about it. And sometimes people come back just to see if they still have access to you. They're not sorry. They're curious. They want to know if the door's still open. That's when your silence is the clearest message you can send. You don't need to write a long message or revisit old pain. Just don't answer. Just move on. Just let your absence speak for you. See, when you stop explaining yourself to people who don't deserve it, you get your power back. You reclaim your time. You stop pouring energy into empty conversations that only leave you drained. And you start investing that energy into you, into your growth, your peace, your purpose. You stop trying to be understood and start focusing on being unbothered. That's when the real healing begins. So if someone disrespected you, don't chase closure. Don't chase understanding. Don't waste your time writing out a message that's only going to be ignored or twisted. Choose silence. Choose peace. Choose you. Let your life speak. Let your glow speak. Let your absence speak. You're not here to explain yourself to people who don't even value your voice. Save that energy for the ones who do. Silence after being disrespected is not just a moment of peace, it's a strategic move. When someone crosses the line with you, when they throw dirt on your name, insult your character, or try to pull you into their mess, your silence becomes a wall they can't climb. It becomes the proof that you are unbothered, unmoved, and most of all, unshaken. Because here's the truth, some people feed off your reaction. They want to see you snap. They want to feel like they still have control over your emotions. But when you don't respond, you cut them off from that fuel. You leave them shouting into the void, wondering why their words don't hit the same anymore. See, silence makes people uncomfortable, especially the ones who expect chaos. When you don't respond to disrespect, when you don't retaliate or defend yourself, it sends a message you are not on their level. You are not playing the same game. You're walking in a whole different lane, one where peace, growth, and purpose are the priorities. And that quiet power, it's louder than anything you could say back to them. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. Every part of you might want to defend yourself. You might want to set the record straight, let them know they've got the wrong one. But if you can pause, if you can sit in that silence instead of lashing out, you give yourself something priceless: clarity. You give yourself space to think, space to heal, and space to rise above the drama. Because reactions are immediate, but responses are thoughtful. And sometimes the best response is none at all. And let's talk about the flip side. When you stay silent, people start to reflect. Not always right away, but give it time. That silence becomes a mirror. They start to sit with their own actions. They wonder if they went too far. They question why you didn't respond. And that space you left by not reacting, that starts to echo louder than 1,000 words. People don't forget how you made them feel. And silence after disrespect makes people feel small. Not because you intended to make them feel that way, but because they realize they lost access to your energy. Think about how many times you've wasted your voice on someone who didn't deserve it. How many times have you explained yourself to people who weren't listening? How many times have you let someone's words drag you down into a place you fought hard to grow out of? It's not worth it. Every time you choose silence instead, you choose to protect your peace, your progress, and your power. And let's be real, some people don't change because you talk to them. They change because they no longer have access to you. They feel the absence. They realize you've gone quiet, not because you didn't have something to say, but because you knew your worth. That's what gets to them. That's what stings. And that's what stays with them long after the moment has passed. So, the next time someone disrespects you, don't feel pressured to clap back. Don't feel like you have to defend your name to someone who doesn't even know your heart. Let your silence speak. Let your growth speak. Let your peace speak. You are not obligated to engage in every battle. You are not responsible for making someone understand the line they crossed. And you certainly don't have to lower your standards just to match their energy. You've come too far, worked too hard, and grown too much to let disrespect knock you off your path. The best revenge is not a comeback, it's a glow up. It's living so well, so free, and so focused that the people who tried to bring you down can't even recognize you anymore. And silence, that's the first step. It's the declaration that you are done entertaining foolishness. It's the doorway to your next level. And it's the language of someone who truly knows their worth. So the next time someone comes at you sideways, don't flinch. Don't explain. Don't engage. Just remember, silence after disrespect isn't weakness. It's wisdom. And it always speaks louder than anything they could say. Sometimes silence is the answer because peace is the priority. We live in a world that constantly tells us to speak up, defend ourselves, clap back, and let people know they've messed with the wrong one. But there comes a point in your life where the noise outside becomes less important than the calm inside. When someone disrespects you, your first instinct might be to confront, argue, or explain. But here's the truth: not every action deserves your energy. Not every insult requires a reply. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all and walk away with your peace still intact. People who go out of their way to hurt you, insult you, or try to pull you into chaos aren't looking for truth. They're looking for attention. They want to drag you into their storm. But when you don't respond, when you don't even flinch, you make it clear that your peace is too valuable to be disturbed. And that shakes people. It confuses them. It frustrates them because they can't get to you the way they used to. They can't rattle your cage. They can't disturb your inner calm. There's something sacred about peace. When you've worked hard to build it, after going through struggle, heartbreak, disappointment, you start to guard it like treasure. You realize that not everyone deserves access to you. Not every comment deserves your voice, and not every confrontation needs your presence. When peace is your priority, your standards change. You don't argue with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You don't chase closure from those who slam the door in your face. You don't keep explaining your worth to people who never saw it in the first place. Your silence becomes your shield. It protects you from slipping back into old patterns. It saves you from saying things you'll regret later. It keeps you grounded in who you are, even when the world tries to shake you. When peace is your priority, you don't just react, you respond. And sometimes that response is choosing not to respond at all. Not out of fear, not out of weakness, but because you've grown enough to know what truly matters. And here's the beautiful part: when you choose peace, you start to attract peace. The people around you begin to reflect the energy you give off. The drama fades, the noise settles, the chaos loses interest. Because when folks realize they can't disturb your peace, they stop trying. And those who still want to fight, argue, or disrespect, they get left behind. Not because you're running from them, but because you're walking in a different direction now. Peace is not passive, it's powerful. It's the choice to be intentional with your time, your thoughts, and your reactions. It's understanding that your energy is limited and you have the right to protect it. When you value your peace more than proving your point, you live lighter, you move freer, you grow faster, because your mind isn't weighed down by unnecessary stress. You also become a mirror to others. When they see you not reacting, not spiraling, not entertaining the mess, it challenges them. It makes them think twice. And over time, some people learn from your silence. Not because you preached at them, but because you showed them something different. You modeled maturity. You modeled discipline. You modeled self-respect. And that speaks volumes. So the next time someone disrespects you, don't lose your peace trying to fix it. Don't let their actions control your emotions. Just breathe. Step back. And remember what you've built inside you. You've built calm, you've built wisdom, you've built strength. Don't trade that in for a moment of pride or a flash of anger. Protect it like it's sacred, because it is. Your peace is your power. It's your compass. It's your home. And when you prioritize it, you rise above everything trying to pull you down. Silence isn't about ignoring people. It's about choosing yourself. It's about knowing that what's going on within you is more important than the chaos around you. And that right there is the kind of strength no one can take away.